guess who has just finished their last exam for the year? Oh, who's it gonna be? It's this guy. God, that's not the best intro I've done. Oh my god. On a side note, I've also been unbelievably busy and managed to get a ton of green wool. There's already quite a bit in my inventory as well. The plan today is to continue building and seeing how far we can get. I feel like I haven't had a good test. So I want to double check on where I currently am now and see where we are by the end. That's the plan at least. We are currently on level, oh my god, we're on level 67. I'm so sorry. That's the level we're currently at. It is all fully done. So anything we get done after this, after today, is kind of like the rate of how much we can get done per day. Anyway, I can talk about how my exam went. I have smashed it out of the park today. Oh my god. I was kind of worried about this exam. Thought it would be quite tough. I'll give a bit of context. It's called Matters at Extremes, which is quite a broad topic, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I was kind of worried about it. So we look at stuff that's really cold. You know, it's a physics degree that I'm doing. So we're looking at like superconductors, ferromagnets, diamagnets, paramagnets, all that sort of stuff. And then on the other side of it, looking at nuclear physics, you know, the matter at extremes. That's the really cold, the superconductor stuff. The really hot is the sun, you know, so it's that sort of range of stuff we're looking at. And we also looked at particle physics as well. That was kind of like a bit of a side note, really. I don't know why that was kind of added on at the end. Which was fine. The reason why I was kind of worried about the exam is because we do so many different types of topics in this module. It's quite broad. You know, there's a lot of things to remember. And because it is so broad, we don't really go into that much detail about it. So it's quite like surface level stuff, really, which is quite nice. But again, there's a lot of things. So it's quite shallow, the amount of stuff we look at, but it's a lot of things we look at. So that was one of the reasons I was kind of a little concerned about the exam, but it was also kind of good because we knew there were 4 questions in the exam, and we knew the order and how many questions there were going to be on each of them. So we could look at past papers and have a pretty solid idea on what each paper would look like to some degree, or what each question even would look like. So going into it, I kind of had a good... There's no audio. I kind of had a good idea on what it would look like what the paper would be like, what the questions would be. I was feeling pretty good. Opened up the first page, thought, oh my god, it's the end of everything, like all exams that I open. Then started going through some of the questions, wrote down what I knew, and then kind of left a few gaps for later. If you don't know the way uni exams work, at least for where I go, we have two books. We have one for questions, one for answers, which is just it's pretty much lined paper, really, with a little fancy cover on it. And I left a few gaps to try to make it look as easy as it can be for the examiner. You know, I feel kind of bad if it was just a jumbled mess of questions. So I tried to make it as linear and as easy to mark as I can. But I go through the paper, flicking through the questions as well, and there's quite a few things that I forget. Quite a few things that I'm just like, oh, I have no idea what this is. I completely forgot. I didn't look at this at all. Not feeling too good. The exam's 2 hours. I then get through a little bit more. About an hour's gone by. I've gone through the whole paper, answered all the questions that I can, and then I start to go back on some of the questions that I can't answer. And that's kind of my way of doing it. I think that's the way everyone does it, really. But then I don't know what happened. I just got like an epiphany, and I just was able to remember back to like the lectures, and just was able to remember almost everything that I missed initially. So I was able to answer as much as I possibly could, really. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty confident, which is often a bad sign for me at least. There's a weird thing that happens with me whenever I do an exam. Whenever I feel like I've done bad, I tend to do really good. And whenever I feel like I've done really good, it means I've done really bad. So, you know, I feel good about the exam. I'm happy with what I wrote down, but I'm not 100% confident until I get the results back. And speaking of the results, it could take quite a while until we actually get the results back. It takes about 2 months, I think, which is an unbelievably long time. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know why it takes so long, because there's not that many of us on the course, you know? Like, I'm doing a physics degree, and I'm not going to say what uni I go to, because that would be kind of ridiculous, but it's not a big cohort. It's maybe like 20 of us, you know? Which is a fair few, you know, number of papers to mark, but, you know, it's only 4 questions per student. You know, it's not too bad. Maybe it has to get, like, checked by an external team. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know how it works, to be honest. But that's what happened today, at least. You'll also notice Camilla's not here with us today. Not that she's died. It's that she's back in her uni digs for just over the uni days. I think she's got a few assignments to finish off, and then she's going back to her house for a little bit. It'd be quite nice, like, for her to catch up with a few people. But yeah, no, that was fine. And later today, I've got D&D. You know, if you don't know, I do D&D every Monday D&D night. It's really fun. You know, I don't think we did it last week because there was the DM was on holiday, the guy that set it up for us. So we couldn't do it then, which kind of sucked. But you know, I'm definitely ready to get back to it. If you don't know, I'm currently a cleric. I think we're like level 12. You know, we're doing pretty good. I think the max level for standard, you know, gameplay is level 20, and we're level 11, ready to go to level 13. Like we've jumped a whole level because we haven't slept yet or had a long rest to level up. Oh, I love D&D so much. It's such a good game because there's I don't know, there's a lot of things to do for it, but I've only ever stuck to one class. You know, it's quite like Skyrim. You know, if you've ever played that game, or I think World of Warcraft, it's very similar to that. Very fantasy and that sort of genre of games. I love it so much. But I've only ever been a cleric, really, or like spent a long time being a cleric, which is like the healer, wizardy, spellcastery type thing. But their main focus is healing, like the support. And I really like that character. You know, there's quite a few different sub-classes you can go as. Like, you can be a trickster, a cleric, which has like some weird spells. You can be a necromancer. You can be a war cleric with a focuses on dealing damage, opposed to the healing. So there's quite a few different like ways to, you know, spice your character up. But I've only ever been a cleric. I've only been a light cleric and and a life cleric. Those are the two ones that I go to. Just because they're the most like overpowered, really. Like I think every party in D&D needs some sort of healer. You could either have like a paladin, a cleric, or what's the other one? A monk can do a few things, I think. I need some dirt. And there's I think a wizard can do a little bit as well. Put that away. Let me get some of this. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, we are starting to run out of green wool. I think what I'll do is I'll leave my computer running over the next like day, maybe 2 days, just to get as much wool as I can. I think it got a full. I think about 60% of a full double chest done in about 3 hours. So I think we need 6 shulker boxes worth. So I think that's, oh gosh, how much is that then? It's about a full day of AFK. And that's to get all of the green wool, which, to be fair, not too bad. You know, I can definitely do that and leave it running. That's not too bad. But speaking of like getting progress done, we are doing pretty well. I think we've already got, what level are we on now? We're on level 70, and we started on level 68 because we finished 67. So so we're probably on track to get like 4 layers done, which is pretty good. That's pretty good going, you know? And I was thinking we could try to do a quick stream and just try and test it out, because I've talked about it before, saying that I kind of miss streaming, and I do. I haven't streamed in ages, you know? If you don't know, I used to stream on Twitch. God, when was this? Maybe 4 years ago, I think. And I did it like every day for maybe half a year, I think. It was something like that. And then it kind of like the group of people I was with ended up not being the nicest group of people ever in the world. And then that kind of all broke up and kind of made me not want to stream anymore, because it kind of ruined it a bit. And I wanted to do YouTube, because I think I do prefer making videos over streaming, you know. I say I think, I know. I know I do, but I do miss it every now and again, you know. Like, it is nice to like talk to a few people and work on a big project like this, you know. Like the idea for the stream that I had at least would be to stream until I finish this, you know, building the entire thing. Maybe not the castle at the top, because that still needs a bit of work, but like doing this, you know, I could very easily just sit and talk and do this for, you know, however long it takes for it to get done, because it would also like add a lot more, you know, progress made, which would be good. Like, I do know we'll be doing this for a fair maybe a good week, I think, just doing the terrain. But once it's done, it will look really good. I mean, already you can kind of see. Doesn't look too bad, you know. There's a significant lack of decoration, I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, generally speaking, it's not terrible. In the background, thought like a lot of projects I do, I tend to like listen or watch a few podcast things. I do listen to music occasionally, but I've recently got into the habit of like listening to like what's the guy's called? What's the guy's name? It's something Sanderson, and he does like how to write a fantasy novel, you know, which is something that I've not really wanted to do before, but just like listening to his lectures on how he does it and whatever, it's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a really fun thing to do. I think, like a fun little project, maybe not little, but you know, working on like a little story. I think that'd be sick. But anyway, I've been listening to like I was with Camilla playing the Restaurant Tycoon. You know, I talked about it last time. I think I even did a video on it, playing the Restaurant Tycoon, and that's when we started like listening and like watching that sort of stuff. I think it just came on by chance, really. Wow, that's a big level. Oh my god, look at that. That's a big bit there. I guess I need to place that bit in. Yeah, we just started watching it by sheer chance, and I'm not gonna lie, I've watched so many of his lectures now. I reckon I could write a book. That might be what is it, beginner's ignorance or something like that. You know, the Dunning-Kruger effect, where beginners think they know more than they actually do, and then they start to do it, and then they get to the valley of despair. It's like that, you know. I feel like I'm right at the peak of Mount Stupid of writing a fantasy. But I reckon I could do it. I reckon I could. Because it's kind of like making a YouTube video. You know, you kind of set out the story. You kind of, you know, plan out where things are going to be, how things are going to unfold. You know, and then there's a big title and thumbnail for the front cover, you know. I reckon there's a lot of like overlap that people don't like recognize. And I reckon I could do it. I reckon I could. But I'll leave that for a future day. Wow, we have gone through a lot of green wool. Oh my gosh. This was full before. Oh, wow, that was fast. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, what time are we on? I think we're good to keep going though. Okay. That's fine. I can always like fill up the bits that I missed and like, you know, come back to it. Like, it doesn't have to be all filled in now. I can always go back and do the green wool later, which is fine. I can do that. I didn't realize we'd get through so much green wool, though. That's kind of insane. Gosh, okay. Maybe it's fine. Anyway, that's been like a recent thing of mine that I've been looking at. Another really good podcast is I'm not sure if many people have heard about it before, but it's a guy called Dry Creek Wrangler School. He has a horse ranch or like a farm or something like that. And he tenders horses, but he also talks about like life and philosophy and like it is directed towards men. Like it is the men sort of stuff, not like the the red pill like hustle culture. It's not like that sort of thing. It is just about like how to look after a horse, and he makes parallels between horses and people. so he's got some fun analogies. It's actually quite good. That's Horse Wrangler School. No, Dry Creek Wrangler School. That's the one. That's so good. I've been listening to him on and off for like, oh god, maybe 2 years now. He's really good. Okay, we are getting there. I think we're nearing the end of layer 71. Wow, okay. That'll be 4 layers done. Assuming I don't run out of wool, which I actually might. Yeah, we have. Okay, we've already run out. Okay, that's not great. That kind of goes to show how much green wool we need. Wow, okay. Yeah, so I think I'll definitely leave my computer running, AFKing, and I can just get some more, Because there's no point in me doing this on camera, right? Like, I don't think anyone wants to watch me, AFK and get, a bunch of green wool. I don't think it'll be that interesting. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Okay, right, we'll see whereabouts we are. This is a big bit. We can do this bit. Oh my god, look how that's so much moss for this one little bit. It's ridiculous. But like each of these like big stretches is kind of like what I want to see, because when we get this done, it'll make the radius of stuff we have to fill in, like back over there, less. And the smaller that gets, the faster it will be to do all the layers. So it's kind of good to see this, but to see these like sort of big plainy bits, but it's gonna take ages to get done. It's actually kind of a good point to notice. The way we sort of did the schematic was I had help with Flat Pixel, who's like one of the YouTube friends of mine who does like a lot of big terrain stuff, and he the way he does it is he has a thing called Perlin noise. We're using Axiom, and in that there's a thing called Perlin noise that lets you like do these weird sort of like patterns for terrain. If I fly over there, you can kind of see. It'll be quite good to see it at this like flat bit. But if I fly up a little bit, you can kind of see it's all done in like patches. Yeah, okay, I can't might land first. But you can see like all of the green wool is kind of like together and makes a bit of a weird pattern, and then the concrete powder is again all together in like a little bubble, and all the moss is together. Had it have just been placed in completely randomly, it would have looked hideous. Like it would have looked so bad. So you kind of need to do it with like this weird like Perlin noise effect. There are other types of noise you can get. I think the Perlin noise is like the most popular. No idea why. I have no idea why. There's probably some sort of computer science guru who might know the answer to that. I don't. Okay, right, we'll try and get this little section here done though. Yeah, we'll need to get some more green wool, but again, I can leave my computer running overnight and try and get as much, hopefully all, of the bits that we need. Okay, it's not quite morning yet though. I'll try to get this last little bit done. Yeah, I can't believe how much green wool there is. Like, I knew there was a lot, but I didn't realise there'd be quite this much. Okay, right. Right, we'll probably call it there then. Okay, bam, so we got to 72. That is pretty good, well, nearly need to finish off a little bit of 71. That's not too bad though, it's definitely getting there. You can see the shape of the land is slowly starting to take form. It is getting there. And it'll be faster. Each day will go by really, really fast. Okay, yeah, it's definitely morning now. Okay, Bam. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been DimDamDom making good progress. Finally. Feels like now, it feels like it's been so long of just making farms and getting blocks and doing whatever. And now we're finally making progress. It feels good. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you all next time. Akiapa.